Test, 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 test. Alright, hit so hit the 10-minute mark, so I think I may as well start talking. Actually, it's just might be harder to hear a bit than normal because of the mask I'm wearing. I'm kind of surprised about the effect it's having on the audio quality. So, hey everybody, Bloodman Bobby here. Yes, it's me right under this mask. As you can see, I am dressed up as Emperor Belos, the manipulative villain from the Owl House. Before I start, I wanted to give a big thanks to my sis for creating this costume. She spent a good amount of this month working on it. Really glad she made it. She did a fantastic job again. It looks just like Emperor Belos. Still have a few things to work out. Like, I was kind of surprised about the weight of the this mask. It's paper mache and much bigger than the Blood Moon Marco mask, but hopefully it could be worked out before I go to conventions in the future. So if you're just joining right now, hello, how are you? So for this Halloween, I just kind of wanted to do, if anybody's around, a Halloween Q&A. If anybody's around, we could talk about any of the shows that I'm covering or any other related subjects here on this channel. Maybe talk about how good our Halloweens were. I think I could have gotten some people to come by if I started earlier, but it was kind of admittedly a bit of a rush job when I got home. But here I am. So if you have any, if you would like to talk about your Halloween, please go ahead in the live chat. I'll be here for at least the next hour. I know I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and go to a family outing, but I really wanted to celebrate with you all and everyone that's watching the stream. So I really wanted to use the stream as my time to relax, if you will, because I've had a particularly anxious day. Oh, hey, Steven's there. Hey, Steven, how are you? Working on a vid right now. I've heard that you've been really busy. I know I should probably be checking out your latest project, but I've just been really tired from work lately. So happy Halloween. Really not a fan of it, TVH, and I'm hoping I get a different offer later. Are you talking about the internship you've been discussing with me and Gabby? 'Cause maybe we can. This is something we could discuss more through DM. Let's even say pretty much. Let's just say there's a chance I might get something more related to my goal. Yeah, I kind of feel similar ways about the stuff that I've been doing. I'm starting to like the stuff I've been doing in full time myself. For me, I just kind of have to get used to the job itself, and I at least try to remind myself that maybe there's some things that I could learn on the job. So I might have told you that my full time gig right now is being in what they call an SEO specialist. That's search engine optimization for people who don't know what that is, and it's a very demanding job. There's a lot of tasks to do, but I try to remind myself that, hey, the manager seems like he really wants to teach me all these different techniques. And to be honest, I had a very basic understanding of SEO. It's been tossed around here and there when I studied public relations in college, and I do a little bit of it myself in terms of keyword research on my own, but I kind of just see the job as, hey, maybe this could be, useful as part of my tool build in the future. So maybe in your case, maybe you could learn a few new editing techniques here and there. Because I did see the Family Guy video that you sent me and Gabby. Yeah. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just in these, especially during quarantine times, it's just the kind of thing where you sort of just have to take what you can get, and that's basically the boat that I'm in. I'm also hoping I can uh do some more video and social media content down the line, Really feel you should incorporate that into your videos. My town center one is about to break 2x despite just being B-roll. Uh, I could probably look into doing much more keyword research. Interestingly enough, I really should do this sometimes. Like when I go into my YouTube analytics, they'll often tell me what videos are trending under which keywords, and I really should incorporate more of those keywords into my um, future videos, especially ones where I got a like whole ton of views. So yeah, it's definitely something that I could look into doing more. And I think it also shows that something kind of interesting I've learned sort of from my job. At least one of the tools I learned I started to incorporate in my YouTube videos is I noticed that if there's like an ongoing show, you'll often see sometimes ongoing shows trend quite a bit on Google Search Console. So I used to be like under the mindset of, oh, I really need to watch shows as soon as they come out, which is a habit I really should start doing, and I started to do with the Owl House. But I noticed that at least the last time I checked Amphibia, even though Amphibia is on hiatus, it's still trending relatively high on Google Search Console. So yeah, I would definitely say keyword research is definitely an important tool as far as the wide world of social media, or in the case of what I do at my job, websites. Because at my job, I do the SEO for car dealership websites, so it would involve things like I would have to build out things like research pages, or maybe they fix a keyword in either the text of the website or in the meta description. I'm trying not to be overly complicated here since this is no longer a tech channel, but I think you get the general gist of how it works. And speaking of which, I really need to improve my sleep schedule. I know I haven't been posting a ton of videos lately. For the most part, I've only been able to work on videos. It's kind of a mix of I don't have as much time on the weekdays because I'm very exhausted after the end of my shift, and I don't always have time to work on videos. And also, there aren't really many topics that I really want to talk about. It's really hard to move in this costume, but I can't reach what I wanted to pick up. Something that I was going to work on was doing a video on the games I would like to see Nintendo remaster. Which I've taken the notes on that, but I haven't shot the video yet. So maybe that's something I could do if I have time, maybe tomorrow, but I wouldn't place bets on that because I'm going to a family outing tomorrow. Which, good news is I'll be able to finally test out this Olympus camera that I bought, this Olympus Penny PL9, and I actually got a Panasonic lens just because I remember hearing that Panasonic lenses work on Olympus camera bodies and vice versa. It's a really nice lens. So yeah, Steven says, oh boy, no kidding, since this internship demanded 2 videos this week, I've been up till 2 a.m. every day. Hopefully it's something that you can get used to, especially in video editing. I remember, I think I told you this years ago before I started this YouTube channel, whenever I would try to do my own like sort of news story videos, it would literally take me like all day to edit, but as time went on, I started to become much more efficient. I think it's literally just because I got used to what I had to do and things like that. So I hope it's something you can get used to. And see a hand emoji, is that, I guess you're waving, see you later. If that's the case, good luck with your internship. Yeah. And I also know that I have other shows I really need to get back into review, because I'm aware I really should be finishing up reviews of things like Amphibia, Infinity Train, and shows like that. There's even more I want to go into, but I don't want to make any promises. But after doing those, like, yeah, the thing is, I really want to do more. Oh, your camera, but yeah, I should probably go. Oh, I see. So I'm guessing you like the camera. But yeah, if you need to go, Steven, that's totally fine. I'm really glad you came by. It's nice to chat with you again, and hopefully we get to hang out more after quarantine. Um, yeah, but I've just been really drained after doing as much as I really like doing reviews, and I want to do more of them just so I'm not the kind of person. I used to, in the early days of YouTube, I used to be that kind of person who was like, oh, I heard this show is good, or I heard this movie was good, and I used to get so annoyed with myself whenever I had to say that. So that's why I started doing reviews of shows like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and I just did the first season of Owl House with Gabby. Really interested in seeing where they go with the second season, but I just get drained doing reviews because I'm always worried I'm gonna say something, and I know it shouldn't matter, but I'm always worried I'm gonna say something that doesn't agree with popular opinion. So yeah, and I know I should have learned my lesson after doing the Star season finale that it's really not the case, and I know that 99% of my audience respects my opinion, and I don't want to I don't want to shove my opinions down people's throats either. Like I don't want to tell people I don't want to beg people please go watch the show or things like that. I just want to and I just really I lost my train of thought there because I saw the latest comment. But yeah, but I really shouldn't let those kind of things bother me as much. Would you say, Steven? Definitely doing trailer acts for movies you never saw felt like a missed opportunity. And I have gotten better at doing that. I've been watching shows and movies a bit closer to when they came out. So, like, I did that with Owl House and the Phineas and Ferb movie. I got to see those relatively close to when they come out. It's just kind of tough to balance sometimes because I'm mixing reviews with news stories. He's so it's often really difficult for me to actually get to see those reviews, see those movies when they come out. But I've been trying to fix that up lately. I also just did that was why I did the review of the Mulan remake and the Lion King remake, because I saw the Mulan remake like basically right when it came. Well, actually, no, no, that's not a good example. I saw it kind of later than I should, but it's the kind of thing where I didn't wait like 6 months to watch it. So I watched it like a couple weeks after it was released. Kind of wasn't worth the $30. And then after that, I was like, okay, since I'm on sort of a roll, maybe I could do a review of the Lion King remake, which was technically a better movie, but as a remake, it's kind of flawed, but still an okay movie. But I hope I could improve on that as I go along. I mentioned in previous streams something I've been doing to kind of motivate myself lately is to like listen to like really crazy pumped up music or really grand music themes. So sometimes before I do a review of something to motivate myself, I'll listen to like a My Chemical Romance song or a song from a crazy car commercial or something like that. Yeah, Steven, you said I only saw the video essays for Mulan. Since it's Cinema's video, I'd recommend. And yeah, I don't recommend paying the $30 to watch it. I mean, the only time I would ever pay that much for a movie, it would only be for something like super, super extraordinary. Like if somebody said, hey, you can go watch the original 70 millimeter print of 2001 A Space Odyssey, and that's it. Like if it's on that level of exclusivity, then I would consider. But if it's just just new movie on Disney Plus, I'm just like no. For Mulan, I did it only because I was planning to review it, regardless of whether I liked it or not. I don't just want to review shows and films that I like because I think it's a much better. I get a much better idea of how the industry works when I see things that are both good and bad. Although I wouldn't necessarily go down the route of doing a review of a show I can't stand, because then I feel like I would just be spending too much of my time like bashing something I don't like. Hmm. see. You said, I don't know if I said in the group chat, but Tenet is kind of shit. Yeah, I heard. I don't. It's weird because like the reviews I heard for Christopher Nolan's Tenet aren't horrible. I've heard some people say it's not Nolan's best movie. I heard from someone that it's one of those repeat viewing movies where you have to go see it multiple times to really understand. I haven't seen the film because I feel like it's one of those movies I wouldn't be able to really understand. But you want to explain a bit more about why you thought that Tenet wasn't very good, Steven? And anybody else in the group chat, if you're just joining in right now, feel free to chime in what you've been doing on Halloween, or even mentioning movies you may have seen. And I mentioned it's kind of really tough for me to see in this mask sometimes. He said, to be fair, I saw it in the worst way possible. Drive-thrus kind of suck. And there was a bit of lag, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I know my internet connection is a little on the rocky side, so unfortunately, I think we're just going to have to grin our teeth and bear with it. I'm on the fastest Wi-Fi connection I've got. I know I should be plugged into a wall, but I don't have that kind of access right now. But I know, and that's like something I always forget to bring up in my videos, is that I know some people have been going to drive-thrus as a way of going to see movies. Let's see if I can. I have to pull something out of the way of my monitor. Yeah, hopefully one of these days I could get used to walking around in this costume. So it has some of the most boring characters, horrible sound mixing, and least imaginative set pieces. Does it still have that weird quirk from Interstellar where the sound is kind of quiet and you can't really hear it? I still remember trying to watch Interstellar and I was like, why in the heck is the sound on like kind of low? It's almost like my iPhone's volume is turned down. And the protagonist literally ends the movie saying, I am the protagonist. Kind of a bit of a wink to the camera. Um, and it's because. Is it because I heard in Tenet the lead character doesn't have a name? Because that would be such a strange quirk. That'll be like if in Infinity Train Tulip ends the first season saying, I am the protagonist. Or if in Star, the series finale had Star say, I am the protagonist. First time, though, Nolan actually has good hand-to-hand combat. My next vid is on the Star's athletic skills lending to fight scenes. So, well, at least it has that. yeah. So also know I do have some other non-news related videos to talk about in November, but I'm still trying to work out the schedule if I'm gonna be down to do it. Because if I'm gonna do the videos I'm thinking of, it's gonna require filming them well in advance because I'm kind of concerned if I have to shoot the videos when I usually do the night before I post them. It's not. I'm gonna constantly go off of schedule, so I don't really want to talk about what it is I'm planning to do just yet, just in case plans fall through. But if if it looks like I'm gonna be able to do them, um, I'll let you know on social media. And in terms of my own Halloween, my Halloween for me, honestly, I kind of see it as more of a 2 day sort of thing rather than just exclusively what have I done on October 31st, 2020. I mean, went out with my family to purchase groceries. Of course, I wore a mask. Not this one, but you know. Um, but I would also kind of include, like, I actually wore this costume for a Halloween contest at my a company yesterday, and we had a remote Halloween contest, and it was fun. This is actually one of these costumes that when I use Face ID on my iPhone 10R, it doesn't recognize me because my face is completely covered up. And in terms of other things going on in November, I know that next month is the month that the Xbox Series X and S and PS5 are coming out. I kind of doubt that I'll be able to get my hands on a PS5 digital edition in time and for launch because I wasn't able to pre-order them or pre-order one, I should say, because I'm only, and obviously I don't have an endless money pit to get all versions of the next gen consoles. So if there's anybody else just joining in, feel free to let me know how what you've been doing for Halloween, if you've been seeing any movies or have done anything special. Recently, I got both Dragon Quest XI and Bayonetta for PS4. When I get to play them in this schedule is anyone's guess. And yeah, I've just been so busy these days. I think for me, that's why I end up playing a lot of games on like my Nintendo Switch or PlayStation Vita lately, since I don't often get access to my TV as much, so I have to like yeah. So yeah, I also have to kind of work out my schedule for when I can play new games. But I still got plenty to like hold me over until um the day I can get myself a PS5. I'm not just gonna sit on my chair and just like think, oh, when's it coming out? But I still have other games I could play in the meantime. If there's any anybody in the audience that is big into Nintendo, I spent a little time in Animal Crossing New Horizons earlier today, giving out candy to some of the island's residents. Yeah, I would really have liked it if I could have done like a sort of Halloween stream where, or it was like I would stream what Halloween and Animal Crossing is like, but unfortunately today, because of the time it takes place, 5 p.m. to midnight, I wasn't able to do that sort of stream because the only TV that I have access to with HDMI where my Switch dock is downstairs, so couldn't really do it. Kind of hoping after quarantine I can get some sort of HDMI monitors so I can do streams up in my room and do them whenever I like, because it's kind of restricting whenever I have to use the TV downstairs. So I'll keep the stream going for 20 more minutes in case anybody else wants to come by. I will say, I was gonna save this for the end, but I may as well say it. In that I'm planning on taking another, I would say another week-long break after I release my next video, which is the one on the Nintendo games. I'd like to see them remaster, since right now I'm not really in the mood for making videos, and again, there's not too many topics that I want to cover, but when I come back, hopefully I can um, do more videos. I said in the past that I might be taking frequent breaks because I've just been coping with a lot of anxiety lately, and just being on social media a lot takes a lot out of me. And I often have to teach myself that 99% of the time when I see people, lashing out on social media, I have to remind myself that they're not talking about me, and I should just kind of relax. It's admittedly a problem I've had ever since I started to learn about social media when I was in college. So it's kind of like old wounds that haven't really healed. It's something that I still need to get used to. And I am glad that my followers have been really understanding. It's just the kind of thing where I always worry that one of these days I'm going to end up in situations where some of my favorite YouTubers have been, and I wouldn't know how to cope with it. But I have to remind myself of right now, especially since I started to make like as I started to do YouTube more, or I think my audience has become more understanding. Because back in the old days, I used to get a lot of shit, especially when I did tech videos. And also, I didn't do things like edit out the ums and ahs, and especially because I wasn't on camera, it made things a lot worse. But I don't know. As far as if I were to play a game for the PS5, I know my sister really wants to play the Demon Souls, I think, remastered that's coming to PS5. She's been going on and on about the gameplay. Um, I think for me, I might just start off playing God of War 2018 since I've been getting into the God of War games lately. Like the first one I play on Vita, I have also played Ghost of Sparta and God of War 3. There's some pretty fun games, so I'm thinking I might just go along with that. It's like my sis can play Demon Souls, I'll just be playing God of War 2018. Really interested in seeing in person just how big the PS5 is. I know people keep going on and on and on about it, and I understand. Yes, it has to be basically has to be that size because of like the so that the system doesn't overheat and things like that. But it's the kind of thing where I'm really curious to see myself how big is it. I might actually have to take the Wii U in my game room downstairs and up here to make space for the PS5. think I'll keep the stream going for 15 more minutes in case anybody else comes by. I'm not going to strictly end it at like in 15 minutes. It's just a matter of turnout. I know I'm going to have to end the stream. I mean, I'm not going to do a thing where it's like it keeps going until midnight Pacific time since I got to wake up tomorrow to go to going to this thing with my family, but it's all good. Yeah, I probably should have done the stream a lot earlier. Because now it's super late, and I know I've had some. I remember somebody asked me, dude, why are you doing like live streams at like late at night? And that's because I sometimes would do streams at like it would be 8:30 p.m. Pacific time, but it's like 11:30 Eastern time, and I know I have some followers that live on the East Coast. Oh, hey Jeffrey, how are you? It says slow night, but great costume there, Bobby. Yes, my sister did a really incredible job with this. How has your Halloween been, Jeffrey? Have you done something? Have you dressed up? Yeah, no, we had some good times meeting each other, Jeffrey. Hoping after quarantine's over that we can that there'll be Owl House events just like when we used to go to Star vs. the Forces of Evil events. Well, not too bad. Went with the adult Finn the human look this time around from the Adventure Time comics. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I saw the picture you posted on Instagram that you were dressed up as adult Finn from Adventure Time. So, did you go to any events? And if there's anybody else watching, feel free to chime in with the costumes that you've worn. I've seen some really good costumes today, even some from the Star vs. the Forces of Evil community. Notice that even when I wear this, I can't really scratch my face. I'll have to pull what um, it's almost like I have to pull what Emperor Belos does. If you might remember, there's that one episode where he like tears a lizard in half and has to pour the lizard guts into his eye because that's the only way he can eat. He doesn't take off his mask. So I'm just like, I don't know. So if he wants a can of Coca-Cola, he's just gonna have to pour the soda down his eye, I guess. That would make for a really weird, like Eric Andre style, like stunt if somebody were to walk around with a mask like this and just pour food, like if it's an Italian restaurant and they just pour the pasta or oh god, meatballs down the eye, and people just would just give that person really weird looks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, admittedly, to like kind of talk about earlier about how I really should see movies a lot sooner. I really wish I just had the mindset of breezing through a lot of TV shows and movies, but I think I kind of overthink things whenever I watch movies because nowadays I even have trouble like watching movies with like multiple people because I'm always worried what others may say in the audience. Oh, hey, Caitlin, how are you? Who did you dress up as? I know that you changed your profile picture recently. And did you dress up as that character for Halloween? Caitlin said, "I'm good. I dressed up as. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Junko for Halloween? Is that right? What franchise is that character from? Sorry, but I'm not overly familiar. Yeah, because like I said, it's kind of hard to see out of this costume. And so I'm actually looking at a second monitor to go through my live chat section. Let's see, you said Junko Enoshima from, is it Danganronpa? I apologize if I pronounced it wrong, but yeah, I saw the costume earlier on social media. You looked really great in it. I can't wait to see what you do next. Yeah, it would also be really nice to see really all three of you, Steven, Jeffrey, Caitlin. It's really nice to see you when we get around, and particularly for conventions. And hopefully, I could invest in more video making equipment for future conventions down the road. I mean, I'd like to be one of those YouTubers that like goes around with like a gimbal and says, "Oh, hey, how's it going here? I'm here at insert name convention." And I think that would be really awesome if I could do that one these days. And you're very welcome, Caitlin. You're a really good cosplayer. So if there's anybody else out there watching the stream, first of all, welcome. If you let me know what your Halloween plans have been. Have you gone? Have you been doing like online parties or just dressing up as your favorite character? So I'll keep the stream going for 5 more minutes if more people show up, or I should say, in case more people show up. Jeffrey said so quiet it makes it spooky and such. Wonder if it'd be really creepy if if Luce had to stand in a room and Emperor Belos is just like sitting and well, actually, if it was in his throne room, that's creepy because there's that big beating heart in the throne room. I don't know. I wonder if that's the Titan's like heart or something, but I'm not so sure. I just find it to be like a really like gross addition. There's like a freaking beating heart in the throne room. Who has that? It'd be even creepier if that really big monster that launched out of Emperor Belos like came out to get you, Jeffrey. Alright, so if there's any last minute comments, you could leave them in the comment section below. Do you have any expectations for the second season of The Owl House, Jeffrey? In terms of where you think the series can go? I'm really glad, though, to go on top of what Stephen told me earlier about catching up with shows. I am glad that, at least with Owl House, I was able to catch up on that show as soon as I could. I really didn't want to have to deal with spoilers when I go on Instagram. Sometimes, and this is a really subjective subject with me, nice grammar there, subjective subject, but it's weird because with shows like Star and to some extent Owl House, I really don't want to know spoilers. And then there's other shows like Avatar and Infinity Train where I don't mind them as much. Honestly, with how crazy Infinity Train Book 3 was, I didn't mind being spoiled. And if anything, it gave me new perspective on the things I said in my prior review. You know, things about the story started to make sense for me a bit more. I kind of know what happens to the character Simon. God, I remember, yeah, I see, the pictures people put up in Jesus Christ. I won't give away what happens, but yeah, that season is just really brutal and bizarre. There's no other way to put it. But in terms of Owl House, does anybody have any like theories going around or expectations for where the show can go? But if anything, I've come from those experiences. I've kind of learned to just have fun with these shows and not get overly panicky about them because I try to remind myself when things get really intense and thrilling, that's just part of the enjoyment for a show. But I really need to stop treating it like it's like a horrible thing at my job, or like if the character's gonna like jump out of the screen and eat me, or just I feel like this is such a terrible habit of mine lately where I feel like I get overly invested in shows like Owl House and Infinity Train and especially Star. God. It's one of those things I'm really not proud to say about myself, and I think one of the reasons why it sometimes takes me a while to catch up on shows is because I'm worried I'm going to have that sort of reaction. So I'll keep things going for a few more minutes just in case. Oh, and something I should say as I'm looking at my iPhone, I have watched it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Band. I actually watched it twice because, as I said in my Apple TV Plus video, Apple is temporarily making It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Band round 3 for a few days, so I think it goes until November 1st. Still not exactly a fan. Like, I'm glad they're making it free for a limited time, but I don't really like this idea of such a limited period, because it makes me concerned what happens if I miss out on those days, like if I'm too busy working on videos or things like that. So I'm glad I got the chance, but I could understand why it would piss a lot of people off. So hopefully I'll be able to do the same thing with a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and a Charlie Brown Christmas. I think it is a good thing, though, that I am getting some time to relax tomorrow and getting a chance to finally test out this Olympus EPL9 camera, because I wanted to get an Olympus camera for a while because I've always admired their Pen series of cameras and even their OMD cameras, mirrorless, these kind of mirrorless cameras where they don't have mirror boxes, but you can still. It's kind of hard to do because I'm not really used to Micro Four Thirds. You can still change the lenses. And luckily with Olympus and Panasonic, you can interchange what they call Micro Four Third lenses with each other's companies because they use the same mount. Yeah, but I guess it would be pretty creepy to just stare at this mask for a long period of time and hear no talking. Alright, I think I'll end things off here. So thank you to everybody that has tuned in. Once again, thanks to my sis for doing a really good job with this costume. I think as far as my video schedule goes, I'll try to do one more video before I officially go on a week-long break. Jeffrey says, well, I've been getting my room cleaned up while listening in. Did you have any last-minute thoughts you would like to say, Jeffrey? But as far as videos I would like to do, I'm thinking of doing at least a Nintendo remastered video, and then I'll be taking a break before I come back later on in November. I still want to come back later on this November, but I've wanted to take a break for a while now. But I don't want to be gone for too long because as making these YouTube videos has been like my passion outside of my work day. Alright, so I'll end things off here. So if you have any more thoughts, you can leave them down in the comments below, and I'll get back to you soon. So once again, thanks to my sis for making this costume. Thank you for everybody for tuning in, and happy Halloween. And this has been Blood Moon Bob.